Following total atomic annihilation, the rebuilding of this great nation of ours may fall to you. That's why we here at Vault Boys WV will take you on an oral tour of the beautiful state of West Virginia. There's no other place to be better prepared for the impending fallout. Now we go live to our team of experts.
Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of Vault Boys WV. If you didn't know, this is a weekly podcast bridging the gap between Fallout 76 and West Virginia through history, culture, and personal experiences. Some of it has references, and the rest is just our local take. From holler to highway, we've got you covered 6 ways a Sunday. I'm your resident Appalachian scribe, Dave Chaffins, and joining me is the dark horse of Charlie West, Austin O'Connor. How you doing, Austin?
What up? Actually, I don't want to intro myself like that. Let me redo that. How you doing, David?
I'm doing well. How are you?
See, we're good. I sounded too cringy with
You
the what up.
You didn't want to do the what up?
No, we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
What have you been into this week? What have you been up to?
Wow. Just working and procrastinating, cleaning, and any other responsibilities that I should be doing at my apartment.
It's this weekend. You always got something going on the weekend. You're like the weekend warrior. So what?
I try to do a lot in my free time.
Weekends are for the warriors, Austin.
They are. You're not wrong. This weekend, Marshall plays Friday.
Mm-hmm. Who are they?
We are Marshall. Marshall University plays. Gosh, I don't even know who they play this weekend or this Friday. Yeah, but I will not be there because I'm
College, University of Charleston.
Graham
High School.
I will not stand for this slander. It's probably some no-name school. I don't know. Yeah. If it's on a Friday night, it's probably not that important, realistically, but I still love them. I'm trying to think who we play. I get a lot of flack for liking Marshall, though. All the WVU fans.
Well, yeah. Well, imagine how I feel being a Virginia Tech fan. I'm like
You're in a sea of blue and gold here. So, and even though we're this close to Huntington, I don't, but I love Marshall.
Well, Huntington's closer, and even Blacksburg. Blacksburg is the same distance from here as this from here to Morgantown.
It is, isn't it? You don't really think about that.
I think I just lost all of my WVU listeners in one single go.
Well, it was a fun run.
I like when the Mountaineers aren't playing Virginia Tech. I'm all about it. I own a WVU shirt.
I grew up as a diehard WVU fan.
Okay.
And I started to like Virginia Tech in high school too, and those are kind of contradicting.
Well, you can but they're
they're not even in the same conference, so it's fine. Well, then I got to Marshall, and I had to put all WVU love aside, and I had to act like I hated them. But now that I'm graduated, I root for WVU when they're not. When, like you said, they're not playing Marshall. I'm cool.
We actually don't watch a lot of football, but a running joke between me and my wife is we'll hear or see a Virginia Tech score or something like that, and she'll look at me and say, "Hey, guess what?" And I'll be like, "What?" And be like, "We won."
And you didn't watch a single minute of the game.
And be like, "Yeah, we won. Our team,
diehards.
We won."
That's fair. That's a lot of my friends, I think, actually. But so this weekend, Marshall plays Friday. I will not be there because Saturday morning I am leaving at 5 a.m. to go to the Canaan Valley up in West Virginia, in Blackwater Falls and Seneca Rocks.
What's all that? What is all that?
It is one of my favorite places in the world to go. It is in what is known as the Potomac Highlands of West Virginia in Tucker County.
There can only be one highland.
Yeah. So Tucker County is where Blackwater Falls is in Canaan Valley, which is awesome if you haven't been there. Pendleton County is Seneca Rocks. There's several counties up there that this all spans across, essentially. There's Dolly Sods, there's Seneca Rocks, Spruce Knob, Blackwater Falls. It's all within an hour of each other, kind of like a big circle. But it's my favorite place, and my mom has never been, so I booked a trip for the weekend, taking her up and show her that part of the state. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So there's a good reason I'm missing the Marshall game. So
I heard
warranted.
So, and I've never been. It's on the list of hiking to go do, but Dolly Sods. Everybody at work has told me, been like, "Hey, make sure you stay on the trails up there." I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because it used to be a battlefield, and there's still mines and." Well,
so in the, I guess, I don't know if it it was kind of like in the middle of World War II, I guess. They were training soldiers before they went to Italy because, especially at Seneca Rocks, the terrain and what they were climbing on the rocks was very similar to a lot of places in Italy. So they would train them there, and they would have, test detonations and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so off the trail, there is, as far as they know, they've gotten all of it.
Right.
But there's no way to be sure. So they're like, don't wander off because you might end up stepping on a landmine.
Be cautious.
Be cautious. You got to be smart. But it is one of the most beautiful places in the world up there. It's one of my favorite places. And it's kind of like a different world, but it's awesome. So we're going there, spending the weekend there, and then we have Columbus Day off. So coming back here and relaxing and probably procrastinating all of my responsibilities until Monday. So it's the way to do it, That's just in true Austin O'Connor form.
Right. And then Mondays are like a day from hell that you cannot get through at all.
Yeah. So that's why I'm very glad to have Monday off and try to catch up because knowing me, I will put everything to then. So, yeah. So right now, one of my responsibilities is packing, doing laundry and then packing. So might not happen today. Might not happen tomorrow.
Oh.
I don't know. Might not happen the next day, but...
Well, my weekend, I mostly spent either sitting outside on Saturday because it was so nice here. And
reading
it
The Shining?
I read probably 200 pages of The Shining that day.
That's impressive.
I took a nap outside, which is nice. I normally don't take naps. And then on Sunday, we did a lot of cleaning. And so this weekend, we kind of have open, so I'm interested to see what we get into with what's going on. So,
the world is your proverbial oyster.
The world is my oyster. Did some entertaining of guests, in which I can talk more about at a later date. But had a nice time having some guests in town and had a lot of fun with them. Other than that, man, my life has been about as boring as a grain of rice.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. I started New Girl, the television show.
Yeah.
Everyone recommended that I started it for probably the last 4 years, and I was just like, meh, I don't really care about it. I'm 7 episodes in since last night, so we're like really trucking through this now.
Okay. So you're like you're with it. You get the.
Yeah. Have you watched
point.
it?
I've watched maybe the first 4 seasons of it.
Yeah. Well, like for instance, when I for some reason decided to say what up, that made me think of the douchebag jar, like in the first episode where they keep putting the money in. Like I would put the money in. I was like, it just made myself cringe. Can't do that. So yeah, but we're working through that. It's gonna be a fun time. I think it seems good. I like Zooey Deschanel. I like the dude.
Nice.
I don't know. I can't remember his name. The guy that plays Nick on the show. He's in a lot of other stuff I've seen.
Yeah, he's going to be Spider-Man here soon. He's in an animated Spider-Man movie.
He does have the voice, I feel like. I can kind of see it.
It's
got
cool.
kind of a funny
it's like
voice.
a Spider Universe kind of stuff. They've got Spider-Pig in it.
I feel like with Spider-Man, it seems like the animation always gets it right. Like the animated anything Spider-Man always seems to get it right.
This looks good.
Because I tried to rewatch Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
with Tobey Maguire, I made it 20 minutes in and I had to cut it off.
It's not good.
It did not age well.
It's not good.
It aged like milk.
Spider-Man 1, good. Spider-Man 2, good.
Oh God, man!
Well,
like when he's like walking down the street and he's like, and he's for some reason women found him attractive all of a sudden when he had his hair down in his eye. That was a weird part. I don't know. Sam Raimi like should have just like done the first 2 and then just said, all right, we're good. Like, we're not going to do this again.
I think the deal with him was that he started feeling really uninspired, and then they wanted him to do a 4th one, and he just like flat out told him, he was like, listen, I can't do that. I don't feel like I can make a good Spider-Man movie right now. And they were
he was like, listen,
okay.
This is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And, apparently,
he was like.
I guess Sony just wanted, they had like demands for all of these characters, and he was like, there's no way we can make this good. Like, you guys just need to do a reboot. And then if you notice with Andrew Garfield, they tried to cram all of these.
Well, I like the first one, the Amazing Spider-Man.
That one was pretty good.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was like, goodness.
Is that the one with Jamie Foxx?
You had Jamie Foxx, and you had the Rhino, and then you had
Paul Giamatti as the Rhino.
Paul Giamatti as the Rhino, and what else? The Hobgoblin. You had. It was a mess.
Yeah. I think that Marvel got it right with Homecoming. That one was I thoroughly enjoyed that. So
that was good.
Yeah. So all right, we'll get out of the superhero talk.
Well, the only shows that we're watching are Great British Baking Show, which is a little bit alarming just for Americans because they're like, I'm going to set the oven at 71. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not hot enough.
Yeah. You're like, oh God.
Set it at 71. That's like, go outside here, man. And then reruns of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Been watching those. The new series comes out at the end of October.
I would not have expected you to say that.
Yeah, we've been watching, and let me tell you something. That show is like the perfect, like if you want to go back and watch like a real like 90s teenage like sitcom. Oh my gosh, it's held up, but it's like it's so kooky. It's great.
Other than that, I started watching Maniac with Jonah Hill.
I started that too.
Yeah,
I actually started that yesterday.
I've enjoyed it so far. I'm like 6 episodes in, and I don't know what's going on.
I have no clue. I'm 4 episodes in,
but I like it.
I have no idea.
It's very good. I think that it's well put together, and I'm assuming that by the end of it, everything will start to make sense.
Makes sense.
I don't know how long they can keep this going for more than a season, though. So it's like, hopefully, it's just. I think it is just a 1-season thing.
Yeah,
I think. We'll see.
I'm unsure because I was like, so are they in this time period? No, because there's Wall-E on the streets.
Yeah, it's like apparently 2018, but if the 80s just never left.
But
then we also got cool technology. I don't know. Very weird. Very cool. It's like very dystopian though in a lot of ways. I feel like, which is like, I don't know. It's just
it's good.
Like I said, I don't understand what's going on. But
it's that highbrow. It's like me watching Legion. I don't understand till the last episode, and I'm like,
I feel like one day I'm just gonna be watching it, and it's gonna click, and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, and then it's just gonna be over. Like that's gonna be it. So,
yep. Unless it's a David Lynch production, which it will never make any sense. But with that, we will take it into the news. All right, Austin. Today I've got, I've got 2 pieces of news here. One that, if you don't know by now, we'll be the first to tell you that the beta will be live for Xbox One users on October the 23rd, and it'll be live on PS4 and PC on October 30th. It'll be available in scheduled hours and will go down for maintenance in between these scheduled times. So now everybody knows when the beta is. Everybody has their expectations set. Todd Howard set the expectations of it's going to break.
Yeah.
We're all going to break
They know it's going to.
We're going to break it.
Which is the point. Get it ready. It'll be, there's people are going to still somehow be mad about it, though. They'll be like, oh, it's broken all the time. That's the point. We're trying to fix it. So,
yep. Yeah. Second piece of news, and it's not really official news, but if you've been following social media through the Fallout side or Bethesda, Fallout 76 is being shown right now in the state of West Virginia at the Greenbrier Hotel and Resort. And so they've been, it seems like, inviting creators to come and media to come in and play the game. And I would expect, I think Pete Hines on Twitter said that there would be like 100 hours and more of gameplay to be released. And I would expect, but probably next week, that there would be, you would be able to talk about it and show what you were doing, what you were up to playing the game.
I've thoroughly enjoyed kind of following along. They've done a good job, I feel like, with the stories and just sort of teasing it, but in a way that you're still getting pretty cool idea of what is to come. I've been kind of paying extra attention to the screens because
you've been looking.
Yeah,
you've been like enhanced.
Yeah, they have like the people playing like in the room, and I was like looking to see if there was anything, but obviously from an Instagram story, sort of hard to get anything. But looked like it was a good time, and I guess it's still going on now for the.
It's still going on. I think it goes on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
I was gonna start off the segment by saying, Austin, how did you enjoy playing Fallout 76 at the event? Oh wait,
yeah,
we did not go to the event. So.
That I wish that would be pretty.
That would be pretty cool. Let's see. That's pretty much it for news. There's not a lot, and there's not going to be a lot, I would assume, especially after next week. Next week will be kind of the last little bite off of news. And
they can't just tell us everything.
So. Right, and then everybody will get to experience it together, and we'll be right there with you. I know that we'll be playing a little bit of the beta. I don't want to get too... Here's the thing. Here's my thing about the beta. I don't want to get too into the beta because, it's like I want to have like a full game day experience and be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to go.
That's why part of me almost didn't want to play the beta just to save it. But I feel like I can't see other people playing the beta and be like, oh, I'm going to wait. It'll kill me. I can't.
It would kill me too.
I have to play it as soon as it's available. But I don't know. It's one of those things. And like I was telling you earlier, it's like I get rid of, I don't get rid of my Xbox, but I jump onto PlayStation. Mm-hmm. And then Xbox is just trying to drag me back with this, getting this first.
Well, here's an honest opinion is when third parties have these like kind of strange like little exclusivity, like they do it, and there's obviously benefits to that and that they see, but for me, it doesn't like sway me either way. So I think like Fallout, the beta is earlier on Xbox with like Red Dead Redemption Online. Updates come earlier to PlayStation 4 than they do Xbox. And if I was an Xbox user, I'd be like, oh great, so they can play test them.
True.
And then they'll be ready for us.
True. Well, I still have my Xbox. I bought my PlayStation mostly because of God of War and Spider-Man. I knew those were coming, so I was like, I'll get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I kept the Xbox just in case something like this happened. So maybe I'll try to get the beta on the Xbox. Boom.
And try to get it set up.
Try to play it a little bit.
I'm not so lucky, but if you do get an Xbox, I might come over and watch in one of the scheduled hours. I might come over.
We can do that. We can arrange it.
How about this? I'm gonna take one hand and I'm gonna put it on the controller. You take the other hand, and then like one person will like move the camera, and the other person will walk. And then
we're getting too in depth here.
One person will shoot.
I think we can just take turns.
No. I like
we can just.
That's like
switch.
The ultimate. That'll be like a mind meld activity that we can do in which
we will get killed so fast.
No,
so fast.
It's like it'll be. You know how the Power Rangers do it, man. They get in or like Voltron or whatever. They get all up in there and they're like they're synced up.
For some reason, this just made me think of remember the game Slender? Slender Man.
Yeah.
And I remember like at one point I was with it was like when I was in college, and we would play, and like I would control the mouse, and like then he would like control where we were walking, and it was always the worst possible outcome. Like we at no point made any progress in that game. We just
got like
kept
one note and that's it,
and then and we were dead. So it could be very
I'll tell you what, Pacific Rim taught me anything, it's that we can do this. And with that, we will go into our next segment. All right, Austin, this week we've got a selection of topics here, I guess kind of centered around science in West Virginia. And so there's a lot of stuff going on here with science in West Virginia. And so I have 3 topics here. And you know what? Just to kind of switch it up, let's see. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
2? Okay. Well, guess what? That's my favorite one that you picked. So I get to start with my favorite story.
I wish we could transition everything here with Bill. With the Bill
Nye, the science guy.
That would be nice. All right. Let's hear it.
All right. This is story number 2. So, Austin, let me tell you a little bit about a telescope here in West Virginia. I'm talking about the one and only Green Bank Observatory, which if you look at the map on that's been stitched together by community members, and I've helped out with the map. My name's on there. Well, my internet name. I'm not going to mention that in particularly. You can very obviously tell that the Green Bank telescope is in Fallout 76, from the map itself. So
there's only one of those in the state, and I would think that's what it is. I don't think there's another one we haven't heard about.
There is one gigantic telescope in West Virginia. And it is that one.
Really, there's one like anywhere near us, but So, yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say Green Bank.
I would say so. I've got a few details here, and we'll share with you if you did not know. So construction began on the Robert C. Byrd Green Bank telescope in 1991. The telescope was built in the town of Green Bank, which is in the heart of the United States National Radio Quiet Zone, which is a large swathe of land around 13,000 square miles designated as a radio quiet zone in which radio transmissions are heavily restricted by law to facilitate scientific and military research. The actual Green Bank Observatory lies within Zone 1, which restricts all radiating devices, while the housing for the facility lies in Zone 2, and that stretches in a 2-mile zone around the telescope. That's also heavily regulated by the military. Zones 3, 4, and 5 are monitored and controlled, but have varying levels of restrictions. So you're not going to be like, the military is not going to hunt you down, but you're not going to be able to get a lot of good radio signals, if you're driving through. But within that 2-mile radius of the telescope, you got a cell phone on you. You're going to be seeing signs as you come near that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be all on you like white on rice.
Yeah.
So the zones and the restrictions are meant to protect the radio telescopes, antennas, and receivers that lie within the facility. The area also has attracted residents who believe that they suffer from electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
That is the most interesting part about this to me, I think. Because I've known about the radio silence zone there, but I never thought about that. Because that's a thing. Like, I've heard of people suffering from that before, but I never thought that they would make that move there.
People people that have that, which it is still disputed, like scientifically, if that is the case. Which, if you watch the show Better Call Saul, which is the prequel series to Breaking Bad, the main character's brother has electromagnetic sensitivity, hypersensitivity. So ideally, what he would need to do is move to West Virginia.
Imagine Breaking Bad taking place in Green Bank.
I mean, I'm sure that maybe one of those safe houses that they send Walter to, maybe
it was in Green Bank. And
could have been. That's where like Gustavo Fring drops off his people, that he goes through and finds.
See Los Pollos Hermanos pop up over in Pocahontas County one day.
They'd have to compete with Geno's and Tudors. That'd be tough.
Yeah, they wouldn't succeed.
Geno's, let me tell you something. The Italians in West Virginia, they'll get you. So the satellite dish itself has a 100-meter diameter area that has been positioned. Well, you can position it at will from the command site, so you can move it around. I think I'm not sure, but in like probably 360. Well, not 360 in like a lateral area. But that's an awfully big satellite. 100-meter diameter.
Yeah,
that's like
pretty large. Pretty big.
That's like a football field in a little more.
Yeah,
of just the diameter itself.
I just want to know how much that thing weighs in total.
You lift? You want to go out there and see if we can?
Just like think about how structurally sound that thing has to be able to, one, rotate, move, tilt, everything at any given time, but also to be able to just maintain that weight while doing that and not I don't know. Whoever built everything with that deserves probably way more money than they got because that's impressive. Things I could never dream of doing. I will file it under that.
It's like the pyramids.
Yeah, there are so many things in this world that I look at and I'm like, how did they do that? And then I part of me wants to be motivated and inspired to learn things like that.
Right. That's what late night television is for. Is for like, watching a documentary about something completely and totally irrelevant to the rest of your life.
Yeah. But then
that's what half this podcast is. It's just like me.
Random things that we just found interesting at 11 p.m. watching TV. And then it just stuck with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So even though it was the construction began in 1991, the actual radio observations began in 2001. The telescope itself has provided several discoveries, including finding pulsars, molecular clouds, superbubbles, neutron stars, and even smaller molecules like sugar in space.
The thing's got some reach.
That's got some. If it's looking at like some like table sugar at space,
Yeah. I mean,
that's some galactic tea they're pouring right there. I've been saving that one for you.
God, the dad jokes. They continue.
In 2016, the site lost its funding from the National Science Foundation and is now run both by the government funding and private sources. The satellite is a key asset in the Breakthrough Listen, which is a project that aims to discover signs of extraterrestrial civilizations.
Speaking of
Yahoo!
extraterrestrial civilizations,
What you got for me?
We talked several episodes ago, and you had this theory about Mothership Zeta and how it's been up there, and all
we
this
talked.
stuff.
You got the Flatwoods monster being an alien. There's Mothership Zeta that's up there.
Now all of a sudden you have a telescope that can see these crazy things. I am thinking possibly there will be some sort of connection. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But I hope it happens.
Well, we sent, and I wish I had this on hand. We sent a signal, like Earth sent a signal out into space that essentially was like the "We are here"
Yes.
kind of, and it wasn't from Green Bank, but it was a part of I think it was in the 60s. They sent out like a satellite signal, and that's what the movie Close Encounters of a Third Kind is based on. Is they hear a response back to it.
What movie is it that the car that they like fly over the truck and everything starts floating and everything? Is that movie?
I
could be totally wrong.
I think it's that movie. Yeah,
I could be completely wrong, but
like the
whatever
a UFO
movie it is
flies over a truck. Is that what you're
yeah?
talking
It's like
about?
the person's in a truck, the light beams, and then like everything in the truck kind of starts float. It's sort of the initial abduction. I don't know.
Maybe
what
it's
movie
Signs or something.
No, it wasn't Signs. It was like I forgot. I was listening to a podcast called Lore, which everyone should check out. Very good podcast. But they talked about the origin story of that alien abduction and these people that claimed that this happened to them and how that has now spawned. It influenced a lot of pop culture and how it viewed alien abduction.
Right.
So that's cool. But I'm hoping that there's at least, even if it's not a mission or something, that there's some nod to Mothership Zeta affiliated with Green Bank. I think that would be the perfect place to do it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that there's going to be, just because of and even in the movie Contact, which is a fantastic sci-fi movie about radio frequency telescopes and extraterrestrial life. That is literally the entirety of the movie. They mention Green Bank in West Virginia, that they have another site because they have a site that they're at in Arizona, and it's like their sister site that's receiving the same communications, and so they're like back and forth with each other trying to figure out like what's happening. Contact is a great movie, and
I need to watch that.
Really excellent ending. It's got a famous actress.
How old is it?
It came out in the 90s.
Oh, okay, so not that old.
No, it's not that old. It's fantastic. It's one of the best sci-fi films out there.
I've definitely heard of it. I just can't think of it. But Green Bank is cool just because it just all makes sense that it's there. You look at the bowl of like the mountains around it. I mean, that one, it kind of silences everything outside of that, but it also, I feel like it has to maybe produce some sort of a boost of just having that kind of bowl shape
you have
around a natural satellite. I mean, that basically, they're just using the mountains to help them boost that signal, and obviously it works.
Maybe that's the real secret. That's how they get the good that good. Those good radio frequencies.
I just remember as a kid hearing about it and being like, those poor kids that can't like have cell phones and can't do all of these things with electronics that live right there near it. But the older I get, the more I'm like, it'd be kind of nice to go out there and get away from everything.
Now, here's the real challenge: is trying to play Fallout 76 in the radio quiet zone.
See if you
can get away with that.
I wonder. My thing is like, how, like, let's say you're right on the line of like entering. I want to know how fine that line is.
I'm pretty sure that you can turn on your cell phone and all the electronic equipment that they have on site. Like you can have electronic equipment and it just can't radiate anything.
Yeah.
It can't give off any kind of radio frequency.
I also wonder if your signal even would work there anyway. I'm pretty sure that they...
No, you couldn't connect anything because
Yeah.
you don't have any cell phone towers like
Yeah.
giving you any. But you can't everything. A lot of stuff just emits.
Yeah,
like
Bluetooth stuff.
microwaves
I guess,
and-
somehow,
Amplifiers and stuff like that.
Wow. You never, and like, you don't really think about it. It's so close to us. Like, it's really not that far away from us.
Yep.
But they live a completely different lifestyle there. It's kind of crazy. Pretty
It
cool,
is.
though. I mean, it's cool. And it's cool to see just because, like, I feel like you just look and there's this huge telescope. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's bigger. Everyone always told me that they were like, oh, you're like, pictures don't do the satellite justice. Like, it's huge. And I was like, oh, yeah, true. And I got there and it was like 3 times what I expected. So they were right. Like, I knew it was a big telescope, but I was like, holy cow, this thing is incredible. So I would like to see it again. I haven't seen it in quite a while. So
Well, you'll get to see it here soon.
here soon we can explore it.
You can go to it.
Yes.
And you can carry your cell phone in your pocket while you do that because you're not actually traveling that far.
We can take photos of it with
That's
photo
true.
mode.
We can take a
Look at that.
selfie.
Take a selfie.
That's the selfie challenge.
The selfie challenge. If you get a selfie with the Green Bank telescope, not in real life, please do not
do
listen
not
to us
go-
to try to do that in
not
real
go.
life. Do not get arrested. Vault Boys told me I could do it. No.
Yeah, that's
do it
great.
in the game.
Well, we'll see.
not
guys.
get
This is
yourself
our last
arrested.
episode. We'll
They're
see you
shutting
guys
us
later.
down.
Yeah. All right, so I've got 2 more here. Pick a number between 1 and 3. You've chosen 2, so I wouldn't choose that one again because then I'll just say the exact same thing that I
We'll do
just
3.
did. Okay, number 3. All right. That happens to be the Rocket Boys. You ever heard of the Rocket Boys?
Close. That's a story near and dear to my heart.
Let me tell you something. There are 3 movies that I've shown almost every week in middle school and high school. That is Remember the Titans,
Classic.
Nick Cannon's feature film Drumline,
Drumline.
and the film Rocket Boys.
I'm assuming Drumline was when you were in band.
That
Makes sense. I was going to say,
nerd.
why would you watch Drumline?
It's not the film Rocket Boys, it's the film October Sky.
October
It's
Sky.
based on the book Rocket Boys, which
Featuring-
I will get to with a little bit of information for you. So, in the small town of Coalwood, West Virginia, young Homer Hickam watched the night sky as the Russian satellite Sputnik passed over his head. Homer became inspired by the event and decides he wants a career as an aerospace engineer. Homer was not athletic, and back in the day, the only way that you could go to college was through sports scholarship. Homer just liked rockets. He built his first rocket out of a flashlight tube, model airplane, flash powder, and old cherry bombs. This rocket destroyed his parents' fence. Later on, he recruited his friends to help him build better and safer rockets. The rockets from then were known as the Auk series, named after the flightless bird, and they established their club known as Rocket Boys and said that they launched their rockets from Cape Coalwood, which is an allusion to Cape Canaveral. The boys launched a total of 35 rockets and competed in the National Science Fair, where they earned a gold medal from a project titled A Study of Amateur Rocketry Techniques. Homer went on to college at Virginia Tech, shout out, go Hokies, to study industrial engineering, where he also designed the Virginia Tech football team's cannon named Skipper after JFK. Homer went on to serve in the military and in 1981 was hired as an aerospace engineer by NASA. Homer went on to write several books, including his most famous, titled Rocket Boys, which was used as a source material for the Ron Howard-directed film October Sky.
Great movie. I, too, watched that movie more times than I can count in high school.
So that's so my experience with that, I've never read the book.
I haven't either. Heard it's amazing.
I've heard it's good, but I've watched that movie a bunch.
Yeah. It's a really good movie.
I forgot who was the guy that
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Chris
that's
Cooper, I think, played his dad.
Yeah, it was the dad.
Was
yeah.
Laura Linney in that? She wasn't in that, was she? No,
I'm
who
not sure.
was it? The teacher. I can't remember who. I don't think it
Chris
was. Laura
Cooper
Linney.
did Matewan too.
He was in Matewan. He's been in 2 West Virginia movies.
Two popular. I'm surprised he wasn't in We Are Marshall.
Yeah.
He's probably in Fallout 76. That's all.
You never know.
Get Chris Cooper. Chris Cooper for 76.
I went to high school with a guy named Chris Cooper.
Well, it's probably not the same Chris Cooper.
Probably not. I think he's a little
It's
younger.
like I went to high school with a person named Ashley Simpson. Not the same.
I remember her too. I think I knew her.
Not the same Ashley
Not
Simpson.
the same Ashley Simpson.
Nope.
But with Rocket Boys, speaking of Homer Hickam, did you see Homer Hickam? Surprisingly, he's an older man. He's not that old, but he's an older man.
Well, he's what, in his 70s now?
Yeah, but he's a pretty strong Twitter presence.
Really?
Yeah. And this girl, it was about a month ago, and I thought it was fake at first, but it really happened. She tweeted about how she got accepted to NASA for an internship, but it was full of profanity and expletives, and she was being funny, but it was pretty vulgar. And Homer Hickam saw the tweet, and he responded, and all he said was language. And she fired several expletives back at him, not knowing who he was, thinking that it was just some older guy on Twitter telling her to watch her language. And she said several things that you don't want to say to someone who is pretty high up at NASA.
Right.
And to which she said, blah, 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 expletive. Don't tell me what to do. I just got accepted by NASA. And he said, I know I'm a part of, and he mentioned everything he works on at NASA.
Yep.
She deleted her Twitter account. Apparently, from what I've been told, he worked things out with her, talked to her. She lost her internship, but he got it back for her. So Homer
look
Hickam.
how nice.
Homer
look
Hickam.
how nice
Great
he
guy.
is.
Great guy. Understanding.
Well, if I was the employer, I'd be like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah. Well, they
You're
saw
done.
immediately, obviously it blew, it went viral. So NASA
they
saw
knew.
it.
Yeah.
But Homer Hickam got her internship back, apparently.
Oh.
I have not heard an update. I don't know if it's going well or not. But from the last thing I heard, he got her internship back for her. So, great guy.
That
Homer
was the
Hickam.
first thing when I started applying for my first job. I immediately went and scrubbed my social media.
Yeah, I think everyone should. And it always, social media will come back to bite literally everyone.
Yeah, if your last name is Gunn, especially, it'll come back. It'll hit you. It'll hit you.
How
pretty
long
hard.
was that from him? It was like years ago that it came back.
Yeah, it was like 5. I don't know.
It's tough. But Homer Hickam, growing up in Colwood, West Virginia, so we can kind of relate to that because we're from not far, just down the road.
Well,
so.
like my dad went to the same for a year went to the same high school as them, which is Big Creek High School, and was familiar with where they grew up. And then a neighbor that lived down the street from my grandmother was one of the Rocket Boys, and I always remembered because his last name is Rose, and he married a lady named Rose, and so he had Rose on the street.
Well, as you know, my grandma lived in McDowell County for a long time. So it was right there.
Yeah, she didn't live in McDowell County. She lived in McDowell.
In the county.
the
Or
county.
up the road, as they like to say. I like to say up the road.
That's nice. I haven't heard
I like
that
saying
one,
up the
actually.
road.
Up the road.
But Colwood was definitely a coal-centered town. And like you said, you didn't really make it out of there unless you were really good at sports.
Yes.
Or, I guess, insanely smart. So those are your two options, basically. Otherwise, you're working in the mines, which is a pretty common tale at that point in time in McDowell County. Like, that was sort of it in a lot of those towns. So it's cool to see that, and to still see that he's prevalent now, that he's a well-known person. And that's why I think it would be so cool if they might not put Colwood in the game, but if there is some sort of, homage paid to the Rocket Boys at some, what I mean, down in southern West Virginia, if there's some sort of Easter egg, something that's gonna reference that, which it's such a big piece of West Virginia history. I feel like between that and like Chuck Yeager, like those notable and pioneers, there's gonna have to be some sort of a like I said, some sort of them paying homage in some way.
Right, and now in the celebrated stories of scientists, we also, and I just remember this, and I didn't have it written down, was the movie Hidden Figures, which just came out, that had Octavia Spencer that played a lady named Katherine Johnson, and Katherine Johnson is also from West Virginia,
Yes,
and worked designing rockets, and just you can go watch the movie Hidden. It seems like they make a movie about, they got a beautiful lie, or not a beautiful lie, a beautiful mind.
Beautiful mind.
I'm thinking about the 30
He's from
seconds.
Bluefield.
He's from Bluefield, yeah.
John Nash.
I was thinking about the 30 Seconds to Mars album, Beautiful Lie. And old Jared Leto.
Wow. But yes, John F. Nash,
And
big time science. Well, he was more of a mathematician, wasn't he?
He's a mathematician,
Just very, very smart. And then there's a lot of very smart people from West Virginia that a lot of people don't realize.
There's so much of these stories of kind of weird science, and there's stuff that, like, we're not even going to get to. Like, I had a story about, just to kind of cover the third topic, I had a story about the mummies that were made. Are you familiar with the mummies in West Virginia?
Really not.
So there were these mummies that were made, and I don't have the notes written down right in front of me, but it was in, I think, Philippi. And listeners can correct me. I'm sure somebody will email in.
Philippi?
Philippi.
You mean Philippi?
Yeah, you mean Philippi? But this guy created his own mummification process, and then people were so impressed that they started showing off his mummies, and then P.T. Barnum picked them up and took them around Europe and
Oh yeah, I think they're on display now, aren't they? And you have to pay $2 to see them or something like that.
you can go see the mummies. Yeah,
and it's in a weird back room of this house or something like that.
So there's a lot of interesting little
tidbits of
I call it weird science.
Weird WV science.
Wild, wonderful, and weird
WWV science. Yeah. No, but I think that it's very well known, but I think a lot of people don't realize that these people were from, a lot of them middle of nowhere, West Virginia back in the day.
In West Virginia back in the day, most people did not have a lot.
Yeah.
And really came from your coal mining towns.
But a lot of innovations in technology was due in part West Virginians. I mean, you look at Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier, and he kept pushing limits.
He's also active on Twitter too.
Yeah, he is. And you look at Homer Hickam. I mean, the dude has helped NASA over the years, important space projects, and I mean, it's crazy to see. And then, you said, having Hidden Figures and being able to see just the history of, and what they dealt with at that point in time, being African American women trying to break into NASA, adds a whole new layer to how important what they were doing was.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, and let's not forget our most important intelligent member of society from West Virginia, Don Knotts.
Don Knotts.
Love him. Andy Griffith Show. Get Barney in here.
That was, God. I got to see the Don Knotts, the little statue in Morgantown for the first time. That was pretty cool.
I haven't seen the Don Knotts statue.
It's pretty neat.
I'm still waiting on the Ahmad Bradshaw statue in Bluefield that's been rumored for years. With that, let's go. And we got a piece of reader mail here this week that I thought was incredibly interesting that I had never heard of. So this is from Andrew. He says, "Hey guys, you've talked about cryptids and the Toast Man. You're toast." That's what I was going to say. That's
your toast.
That's adding in a little bit. But talked about cryptids and Toast Man. But are there any other local personalities or groups you would like to see referenced? Personally, I would like to see the Cherry River Navy included, especially with a chance to get an admiral's uniform. So I'd never heard of the Cherry Hill Navy. You may be familiar with it, but I've wrote up a little bit on here of it here. So the Cherry River Navy was established in 1937 in landlocked Richwood, West Virginia. It's an informal honor society created to lobby for the need of a new road that would venture east to connect Richwood to Marlinton. They were called the Navy because the only way to get to this location by vehicle was to travel up the river by boat. Shortly after their establishment, the road was built, but the society kept going. It inducted admirals, which everybody in the society was an admiral, so the Navy was just considered admirals. Everyone was admirals. But they inducted people such as Herbert Hoover, Dwight Eisenhower, Hubert Humphrey, and Babe Ruth. The Navy charts its yearly journey at the Cherry River Festival, sailing down the street on a boat that has wheels.
Was that Herbert Hoover? Is that what you said?
Herbert Hoover.
Hoover.
That's
Hoover.
That's a mix of a mix of a few accents there. I'm not sure where that's all coming from.
So the Navy. What? Honestly, with Bethesda, you never know.
You never know.
You really don't know because they do so much research. They probably know more about the state than we do at this point.
Do you know what their official song is? It's "I'm on a Boat" by John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. No, I'm kidding. It's not.
That's Boats and Hoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on a boat with a lonely island. So they have
That's
options.
the Lonely Island. Well,
They
look
have
at
options.
me. I don't know anything about
Boats
pop
and
culture.
Hoes
I know a
could
lot
be.
about West Virginia. Nothing about pop culture.
I would like Boats and Hoes to be the official song.
Or maybe you could do "I'm on a Boat" with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Ooh, okay.
Like cover,
trying to think of,
cover
like-
to cover.
This whole time I'm trying to think of like local celebrities that I would like to see in the game. Spencer Adkins from the news.
Spencer Adkins.
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's a meteorologist on 13 News. He's got the mustache and the glasses.
Oh, yeah. I like
I
him.
want him in there. I don't know
I
why.
like him.
Mostly just because he's literally all over the state.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Bluefield on
Yeah,
our
he was
news.
in Bluefield. I remember him.
He
yeah.
is in Ashland, Kentucky at my parents', like because they get the Charleston
Yeah.
station. One time I was up in Canaan Valley, and he was on the TV, and I was like, "This man is following me everywhere I go."
Maybe it's like a hologram. Maybe it's like
Maybe I
you know.
passed him on the boulevard one time running down here.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Were you like Spencer?
I was like, well, I kind of like, I passed him the first time and I was looking at my phone changing the song.
Yeah.
And I kind of caught him right as we passed. And I was like, that kind of looked like Spencer Adkins. And then like 5 minutes later, I was going back the other way and then he was going back the other way. So we passed again. And I just I remember having this really weird smile and I was like, hi. And I just remember him looking at me like, what is this guy looking at me like this for? Like, and he kind of gave me like a pity hi. He was like, hi. And then like kept going. Want him in the game. Just for no other reason than the fact that he is basically the face of meteorology in West Virginia. You know?
I'm with it. I think, like I've said before, Jessica White.
Jessica would be
the Diamond Dave's Ninja School.
Ninja School.
I want something. I want something from that.
Yes. I want Randy Moss.
You want Randy Moss?
I want Randy Moss. I want
Paisley shirts, and then we all go to a Brad Paisley concert and wear
God.
Paisley for Paisley.
I'm just gonna skip over that comment.
Let's see.
No, I want Randy Moss. I want, or a Randy Moss emote where he just says "straight cash, homie," because that was his thing. He got fined by the NFL one time because he fake pulled his pants down in the end zone and mooned everybody after he scored. He didn't actually do it, but he mimicked like he was doing it.
So you
He
want
got
like
fined, and somebody saw him the morning he was going to the NFL office to pay the fine. And they said, "How you going to pay that?" And they were like, "You gonna write a check?" He said, "Nah, straight cash, homie. We don't write checks." So straight cash, homie, has become
I've got who'll do straight caps, homie.
straight caps, homie. Okay,
I like that.
it's cheesy, but it could work.
Well, Austin, I wanted you got your phone on you because I want you to do a few shout outs from our people from iTunes.
I don't know if they've given us any more love in the last week.
Well, you could just. I want you to shout out people from there. I meant to.
I have an extra shout out too after that.
Okay, we can cut this part and then we can, That's why I did it with the voice, and now I'm speaking in my small voice.
Do you want me to just shout everybody out that's commented?
Yeah, just intro yourself. Be like, we got a few shout outs and.
Okay, so we've got a few shout outs from Apple Podcasts. We briefly kind of touched on it last week, but I didn't get to everybody. So I was just going to shout everybody out that's given us some good reviews and shown us a little bit of love. Zachy's son, the KDM 8788, Fallout 304, the Neo God, Noldy, JR Gear Hunter, maybe Junior Gear Hunter. I don't know how he's feeling.
Could be.
Cold Iron, King Outlaw 3466. Again, just want to hash out, thank you guys for giving us some feedback, giving us reviews, positive, negative, whatever it is. We appreciate it. So yeah, just like if you have time, anybody that has not given us a review on any of our platforms, let us know what you think. Like I said, good, bad, whatever. Tell us what you're liking.
That Dave guy can't pronounce Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover.
And that just ruins it for me.
So yeah, just let us know, or even if you just want to tell us maybe some of your favorite things we've covered, different things that you've really enjoyed, questions like we've had questions.
Yeah,
but
email in those questions into the email, and we'll always read them out. Whatever you got, as long as it's not like absolutely crazy. Although I challenge even that you send me a question that's absolutely out there.
Send us your go-to order at Tudor's Biscuits. We'll even enjoy that. We even read that off.
Now my inbox is going to be full of Tudor's Biscuit.
Well,
I want one Thundering Herd, please. All right, so for today, that's it. Don't forget to email us your questions at vaultboyswv@gmail.com. Check us out on social media at vaultboyswv, and tell your friends. That's how we get more listeners, and we get to do more fun stuff, and we get to feel good about ourselves. But for now, the vault door is closing. Stay safe.
Can you take me higher to a place where I don't even know.
That's going at the end. That's a winner right there.